or stream it in live. If you're on a cellular device, you might want to just put it on Do Not Disturb. So we're getting ready to do the very same thing. And all right, let's see. As we get ready, I'm just going to invite you to remember a couple things, and I'm also going to give you a couple suggestions of things that you can do during our journey. Just a couple rememberings. One is that all meditation, no matter what its lineage, no matter what its heritage or foundation, is communion with the divine, communion with the eternal. What is communion? Communion is just oneness. The speakers are on, and so you might need to move either closer to a speaker, or you could come up in the front row here. Whatever is going to work for you. And so as we're getting ready, we're going to make sure that we remember that it is communion with the divine, and so we're just going to allow ourselves to relax. Relaxing is the most important part. That communion will just happen as we open to it. Our intention is to allow that to be. There are intentions built into certain meditation practices, and then there's the intention we bring to the meditation practice. I'm going to offer a couple suggestions of intentions. One is that nothing is going to distract us. Nothing from the outer world, nothing from the inner world. And that we are going to allow all the channels and all the meridians of our physical, emotional, and mental bodies to be wide open. What does that mean? It just means that there are energy pathways that flow throughout your physical, emotional, and mental bodies, and when they're in equanimity or in balance or in harmony, you experience peace and clarity. So we're just going to intend that. And also that we're going to allow this to be the best, the most delicious, the deepest, the most profound, the most revelatory experience ever. And with that being said, if you just came in within the last couple moments, if you have a cellular device, if you could just make sure that that is either off or in meditation mode, the rest is going to be self-explanatory as we are now ready to begin. And as always, we begin by giving ourselves permission to relax. Just saying to ourselves and our minds, I give myself permission to relax. As we open to the divine energies, the eternal frequencies of peace and love, beauty and joy, harmony and clarity, and allow these energies to simply and gently overwhelm us. We take a moment as we open our hearts, our bodies, our emotions, our minds to the infinite grace, the divine intelligence, the energy of our soul. And so I invite you to open the inner eye, the imagination. Just bring your awareness to the middle of your brow, and solely through intention, allow the inner eye to open. You may feel tingles on your forehead, You may feel a little pressure on your brow. You may begin to see colors or images, or maybe just darkness. You may see an eye with an eyelid open and look around. Whatever you sense, whatever you see, just allow the imagination as insight to expand. Bringing your awareness to your left ear and to your right ear. I invite you to find the space directly in between the inner ear. And as the outer ears let go of distraction, we allow the inner ear to awaken, keenly and acutely aware of only the voice of the soul. And I invite you to bring your awareness to your crown, the top of your head, and imagine your crown is wide open, like the dome of an observatory, gazing up to the infinite, the cosmic sky, the source, the power, the love of creation, and the wisdom. And allowing the surface mind, the subconscious mind, to merge and meld with the providence, the omniscient wisdom of the higher mind. As we awaken our divine sensorium, you may begin to notice waves of light cascading over you and through you, as though you're sitting beneath a waterfall of effervescent light and a contagion of rejuvenation and relaxation continues to soften and strengthen your entire body. There is no efforting, no trying, just feeling life force itself tingling into your toes and ankles, rising into your calves and shins. All the cells illuminating, a phosphorescence of light flowing through your knees, up into your hamstrings and thighs. And from your hips to your toes, you can feel your legs vitalizing. That energy swirling around the root at the base of your spine. vortex of energy swirling up through your intestines and root, kidneys, and lower back, to your stomach, sacrum, and adrenals. Soft waves of joy rising into your solar plexus and middle back, and your heart center is opening even wider, brighter, and fuller. Beauty and enthusiasm rising up through your throat, and making its way from your crown to your soul. And we can feel a heart and soul connection. I invite you to feel the energy, the flow of light between your soul and your heart, between your heart and your soul. There's nothing to do except observe and relax. Without searching, without seeking, just observing. I invite you to witness the answer to the question, what is it that makes my heart sing, that brings me joy in its purest form? We sometimes refer to this as the call of the soul. And simply allowing ourselves to bathe and marinate physically, emotionally, and mentally in the energy of desire. You may begin to notice an alchemizing frequency that rejuvenates and enthusiates. the energy of faith and optimism merged with passion and purpose, just allowing that to expand. I invite you to bring your awareness to your breathing without changing anything. But imagine on your next inhalation, from the highest point of divinity, life force, a wave of light coming in as you inhale through your crown into your heart. And as that energy makes its way into your heart, allow your heart to stretch and expand. Inhaling as though you were blowing up a balloon in your heart center. And allow it to grow brighter and wider. And one more breath as you inhale into your heart. And solely through intention, we allow the heart to continue to expand. As I now invite you to bring your awareness down to your root at the base of your spine. On the next inhalation, draw the energy all the way down to your hips and root. And every cycle of breathing, the energy floods into your root as we allow the root center to expand. Inhaling the light, the energy down into your root as it expands even more. Exhaling and allowing the root center, your root chakra, to flood with the light of life force. Letting go. And now I'm going to invite you to imagine that you're standing somewhere, a place you love, perhaps in nature, with your bare feet on the ground, and nestled about a meter, maybe 4 or 5 feet in the fertile soil of the ground. You can see a starburst of light, your earth star, your 10th chakra, at the bottom of your energy field. Your next inhalation, draw the energy all the way down to your earth star. And allow it to expand and inflate. One more deep inhalation to the bottom of your energy field. And letting go. recalibrating, returning to the refreshing purity, the omniactive flow of chi that right now is orbiting planets around stars. Right now, that energy is blowing wind that is pushing the sails of a sailboat and lifting a kite as it floats on its breeze. That life force energy that is breathing our breath and pumping our hearts. That flows rivers. That drops rain and snow. And only seeks to beget beauty. And I'm truly grateful to know that the activity of the universe only seeks to beget good. The natural circadian rhythms back of all life are the flowing, glowing, knowing wisdom of the divine that we may call God. We may call it Dios, Jehovah, Allah, Hashem, Yahweh, the Creator, love, the universe, the One. One power, one presence, one intelligence, one life. And each and every one of us, beyond our personality, beyond our gender, beyond our age, beyond our race, likes and dislikes, there's a brilliant light, a microcosmic expression, individualized expression of the divine, the true self, the soul, the radiance of our eternal nature. We take a moment in deep gratitude knowing something wonderful exists always as bliss. We align our awareness, our attention, our intention to this eternal frequency, the great remembering. And it is through intention and relaxation that we simply acquiesce to the omniamorous, all-loving bliss that is life itself, capital L life. I'm grateful for our time, knowing it is in stillness that benevolent, brilliant, infinite opportunities and possibilities await. And as we ground the eternal frequencies, we align even deeper, more purely, more profoundly. And each and every one of us endowed, imbued with everything we need to thrive. We ground it so. We allow it to be so. And in gratitude, we simply say, and so it is. Amen. And as we come back into a lucid state of divine awareness, if you need a little extra balancing or grounding, sometimes take an opposite hand to opposite knee works, or shoulder, or just pushing your feet to the ground, or whatever feels right and good to you. We're going to bring the lights up here in the sanctuary. And we are complete with our meditation service. You can stretch and move about the cabin. We're going to take a 5-minute break before we begin our music and our message. You can enjoy the bookstore or the restroom. Both are going down through that side door. And You can hang out here. Welcome back. Welcome back. We'll be back at 10:30.
Oh, it's so easy. It is so easy. This is the button. No, and there's another way to do it.
Group that I met on Facebook.
Can you write it yet? Oh, because it's in airplane mode. I'll show you later. Leave it that and restart it or turn it off. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a computer genius. No, I will. We all are. Do me a favor, make sure you get that filled out because we want to get you signed up. Okay. Okay. God bless you. I'm so glad we got to sit next to each other.
Lady, first time met?
Yes. We have 3 of these.
Well, 2 of them then.
Hi, Maddie. Oh, beautiful. I know you were doing this when I was thinking of you last night. No, I was not. I did it this morning.
morning, Soul Center. Good morning. My name is Jessica Susalik, and I'm the co-founder of Soul Center OC with my mom, Patricia Griffith, our angel in heaven. And we are bringing the teachings of Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith and the Agape International Spiritual Center to Orange County. So glad to be doing that this morning with you all. Let's please start with our declaration that will come up on your screens, and let's say it knowing it for each other and the entire universe. There is one life, and that life is perfect. Oh, that life is God. Let's start over. I'm sorry. Sorry. It is perfect, and it is God, so I guess both work. Okay, and action. There is one life, and that life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. I am here to receive the divine message for me. I am awake, I am tapped in, and I am transformed. You may be seated. And I'm handing the mic to Angelina, who is head of our Fun and Connection Committee. Buenos dias, everybody. Buenos dias. Just gonna love that sweater. Look at those butterflies. She lives and breathes Soul Center, and we love you for it. All right, again, my name is Angelina, or if you're feeling a little Latin, Angelina. It's time to flip those phones into airplane mode, please, or meditation mode, as Rev says. Let's tune out the pings and tune into peace. To stay connected with everything that's happening at Soul Center, you can find these announcements in your program, in our newsletter, or by visiting soulcenteroc.com. Or make some friends around here and they'll keep you posted. Very exciting. Why? Rev's new class begins this Thursday. This Enlightened Relationships, Creating More Meaningful Connections online class is essential because thriving relationships lead to a happy, healthy life. In this class, you'll learn and practice applying spiritual principles linked to self-love, forgiveness, and qualitative intent to deliberately cultivate and experience the best relationships. We'll learn and practice mapping out and opening to the relationships we desire. Yes, yes. Moving from tolerating and eliminating friendships to cultivating sacred relationships. We'll explore how new and current relationships can be upgraded to enlightened status. These classes work. Trust and believe. I'm here as a witness for that. This is 5 Thursdays beginning this Thursday, April 30th, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. You can sign up now online at the welcome table. Well, we have something else that's really exciting. Get ready to find your sacred beat. On Sunday, May 17th, join our Joyful Rhythms Drum Circle. This isn't about being a musician. It's about connecting to your soul's pulse and feeling of joy of community. We'll provide the drums. Just bring yourself. Early registration is open. But if you bring a friend, you can grab the early bird rate for only $45 for two before May 3rd. Can't wait. Looking for a little soul sustenance? Visit the Almond Garden bookstore. From tea and candles to spiritual books and jewelry, we have everything you need to support your practice, including Soul Center apparel. And if you're a member, don't forget you get 10% off of all your favorites. Join our other ongoing events, such as Rev Keith's Affirmative Prayer, Monday through Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Zoom and Soul Center's Facebook page. Our midweek meditation, Wednesday, 6:45 p.m. Pacific, in person or live stream. It's Munch and Mingle Sunday! What
what does that mean? We get together as friends and we just have some lunch and love each other up. Today we're heading to Postino in Irvine, also called Postino Park Place. Oh, it's only 7 minutes away. Whether it's your first time or your 50th time, join us for some great food and even better company. Stop by the welcome table right after service to get on the list, or just show up. We'd love to see you there. Now, another part of our community that is very special to me is our Soul Center Sacred Service Team. Volunteering is a great way to stay connected and keep our high vibe energy flowing. You'll also meet amazing people like our lovely Sacred Service leads, Colleen Lavoie and Kathy Loquet. Where are you, girls? Yeah, we love them. Register your interest at our welcome table or online at soulcenteroc.com. No experience necessary. We can't wait to volunteer and serve with you. Again, to stay connected with everything Soul Center, please scan the QR code on the back of the program, or we have it at the welcome table as well. It only takes a second to stay in the know. And now, Jessica?
Yes. Yes, and we're so happy to have Michael Bloom back, and you can find Michael on all streaming platforms, whatever Mike, and of course Michael and Brian and Jesse, and we're so grateful for sacred music this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jessica. Come on, clap your hands like this, put it together. Hey, hey. Let's remember, 1, 2, holy love enters here, breathe it in and take it everywhere. Holy love enters here, breathe it in and take it everywhere. Only love, oh yeah, only. That's right. Everybody sing, holy love enters here. Breathe it in and take it where? Holy love enters here. Breathe it in and take it everywhere. Only love, only love, only love can enter and yeah. Only love. It's the one thing we got inside, yeah. Hey, only love enters here. Breathe it in and take it everywhere. Only love enters, love can enter here. Breathe it in and take it. Only love, 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 only. I need help on that note. Said only love, let's break it down. 1, 2, only love. Take it where? Everybody sing, only what? Breathe it in. And take it, huh? And take it. Only love, no hate, no fear. I will free myself only. It's the one thing inside my heart, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, yeah, yeah. Only love, yeah, yeah.
magnificent. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Well, good morning. Good morning. My name is Lori Banks, and our selected reading is taken from For the Inward Journey by Howard Thurman. It has been wisely said that the time and place of man's time on earth is the time and place of his body. But the meaning of his life is as significant as he wills it to make it to be. While he is on earth, his mind and spirit are domiciled in his body, bound up in a creature who is at once a child of nature and a child of God. Commitment means that it is possible for the man to yield the nerve center of his consent to a purpose or a cause or a movement or an ideal, which may be more important to him than whether he lives or dies. The commitment is a self-conscious act of will by which he affirms his identification with what he is committed to. The character of his commitment is determined by that to which the center or core of his consent is given. It remains now to examine the bearing of this fundamental trait of the life process on the meaning of commitment, the act by which the individual gives himself in utter support of a single or particular end. Energy and vitality are apparently not spread around based on general gratuity, over and above what is given for the mere manifestation of life. There are conditions inherent in the process, and when these are met, something happens. Energy starts moving, pulsing, and becoming manifest in accordance with the form of the life that has fulfilled the conditions. Let us turn within and pray. I'm just so grateful for this time on the planet. I'm so grateful for the kind and the curious who seeks to understand people's identification and their commitments. I'm so grateful for Soul Center and our beliefs of love and oneness. Because God is oneness. God is love and peace and joy. And we are all, each and every one of us, one with God. And with that comes a special inner journey, an inner journey of just deliciousness and peace and connection. Peace is the absence of againstness. And so from this beautiful place of peace, I bless our day. I bless each and every one of you. I bless everything and everyone. And I amplify your goodness, your vitality, and your energy. I bless that to be amplified in your body temple and in all of your interactions and in all of your relationships. You are expanded in the goodness and glory of God. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Now it's time for our agape affirmations. Please rise. You'll find them in your program and coming up on the screen and live stream. I'll speak a line and then we'll all repeat them aloud together with sincerity and acceptance. I am a radiant emanation of God shining heaven on earth. I am a radiant emanation of God shining heaven on earth. High holy appreciation floods my heart and multiplies my good. High holy appreciation floods my heart and multiplies my good. I walk in the no complaint zone of praising divine consciousness. I walk in the no complaint zone of praising divine consciousness. Love is the dynamic thread weaving my life together. Love is the dynamic thread weaving my life together. High vibrations of potent wholeness invigorates my body temple.
High vibrations of potent wholeness invigorates my body temple.
In glorious gratitude, I let it be.
In joyous gratitude, I let it be.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
Amen.
For those of you who would like to experience private individual prayer today, please come up here at the front by the gong after service, and there you'll be directed to a licensed Soul Center prayer chaplain or a licensed spiritual practitioner who will pray with you on your behalf. Thank you. Blessings and blessings.
All right. Amen. For our first musical offering today, we're going to do a song that was made famous by Louis Armstrong. And it speaks to what you were sharing just in seeing the beauty in the world around us as we move through, what can be challenging times for so many of us in so many ways. This is about the practice of seeing the beauty that transcends all the headlines, all the personal stuff, the one beauty behind all of it. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I see babies cry, I watch them grow. I learn much more than I ever thought I would know. And I think to myself deep in my heart, I think, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, sacred, blessed world. Every heart, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
And the style and the new haircut, Jessica Doy. We're liking it. And of course, the amazing Brian Ferris on keys. We've got the best musicians.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta tell you, we've got the best. And, know I might be biased, but it's true. Nonetheless, welcome. Good morning, Soul Center. I'm Reverend Keith. I'm here to rev you up. You've heard me say it before. That's the job of a minister, is to bring forward something that revs your engines, that begins to ignite something within you, that awakens you to you. There's a you that you have barely begun to experience and explore, the you that is the real you, the capital Y you, the eternal you, the divine you, the soulful you. It is born of bliss. We're going to get into that in a minute, but before we do, we're part of the Agape International Spiritual Center, and that means we're part of the New Thought Ageless Wisdom Teachings, which means we're asking you to have a direct experience of you, a direct experience of the divine as you, where you get to go into the spiritual laboratory and conduct tests that allow rejuvenation, regeneration, and expansion of good, not degeneration and constriction and restriction, cynicism, and things of that nature, just grand goodness. So, are you interested in that? Does that sound like maybe something we could explore? We're going to. That's what the entirety of our community is based on, is an exploration of the divine. Not taking things for rote words, do this because we say so, but because you are going to explore and make sure that the real reality, the capital T truth, is actually the truth. That's what you came here to do, whether you know it or not. Welcome, love streamers. Welcome to those of you who are here. Is there anybody who's here today, this morning, for the very first time in person? If you are here for the first time, if you wouldn't mind, we're just going to have you stand up and we're just going to bless you. If that feels good to you. And don't worry, we're not going to ask you to do anything except, here's the ground rules. Just receive being seen, loved, adored, and blessed. That means you're just going to open your hearts to divine receptivity. You're going to relax, and we'll take care of the rest. We're going to say this to you. Welcome to Soul Center.
Welcome to Soul Center.
We know who you truly are.
We know who you truly are.
You're a divine emanation of brilliance.
You're a divine emanation of brilliance.
Beauty. Love. Joy. And magnificence. We thank God for you. We bless you. Welcome to Soul Center.
Welcome to Soul Center.
You may be seated. And if you haven't done so already, and you might like to, we have a welcome packet for you inside today in the hallway that has some information about our community and some goodies. If you want to pick up a welcome packet, that would be wonderful. And it is so good to be here. I love this community. Like I said, I'm a little biased, but anything that's going to foster, cultivate, nourish, nurture magnificence, I think that's a pretty good thing. And that is why we are here. And as we continue in this month of spiritualizing our daily lives. What does spiritualizing mean? It means you're deliberately participating in alchemizing and expanding, capturing the divine idea of your life and allowing it to radiate through you into this world, that you are not going to be tempted by the waves of the world that can bring you down into pessimism, cynicism, limitation, and lack. You're going to allow that which is omni-active, life force energy to flow through you and expand your magnificence. You know, it's really interesting. We live in a time where computers really are just an amazing metaphor for what human beings are going through. You know, we can live on this planet Earth because we have free will and free choice. You can move through life more like an automaton, where you're allowing things to happen to you and you're living from a place of victimization because of the economy, because of what's going on with my family, because of what's going on over here, over there, reasons and excuses as to why things are happening. There's a place for that we call phenomena. Phenomena is just, those are patterns of things that are taking place in the world. We'll get back to that in a second. But there's a life force, a pure energy of magnificence that wants to radiate through you. We call it the law of radiance. What is the law of radiance? It's the aspect of creation. There's a divine idea of your life. It floods through your soul into your heart. It's accepted where free will and free choice come in. You get to embrace it and say, I'm going to embrace the divine idea of my life. Or you can say, no, I'm not going to embrace the divine idea of my life. I'm just going to allow things to happen. I'm going to be a wallflower. I'm going to be a victim to all kinds of things that are going on into the world. And there's such good excuses. There's tempting excuses out there. Tempting excuses that are going to invite you like, oh, there's this phenomenon out in the world where, it's not who you know, but what you know. There's this thing going on in the world because I'm not of the right shape, size, or color, or persuasion that I'm been put into a bucket of lack and limitation. There are phenomena. Those phenomena, I will give you, they exist in the reality called duality. So it's like we're not diminishing anything. We take with absolute sincerity things that are going on in the world that bring about war, discord, and separation. The entirety of why we come together is to unify. You want to be a house united within yourself first, and then you'll start to see that ripple out into your world. There's a recipe. There is a way to do this that comes forward fluidly, elegantly, brilliantly, and beautifully, but you have to participate. And today, our topic is of high commitment and continuity. Commitment is one of those things, I don't know, is there any commitment phobes out there? If you're a commitment phobe, do you know why somebody's a commitment phobe? I know somebody who had a really bad experience with divorce, and then they were like, I'm never getting married again. As a matter of fact, they're very, very selective and very cautious about any relationship that they get into now. That's allowing your trauma body to influence you. That's letting a bad experience embed itself in your subconscious and then letting it determine the quality of your life. Do not do that. You want to purify, alchemize, transcend, and transmute those things. So where this looks like a computer, so did you know that a computer, which is fascinating to me, for the most part, when they do a computer program, so you got, whatever, you got your Microsoft Word, Excel, you've got all kinds of different apps, you've got all kinds of things that are happening on a computer. But did you know that when you go in and you're like, have to put in a password to get to a particular one of your accounts? Do you know that, in the real world, IRL, in the real world, if I don't want someone to come into this room, I'll go and lock the door. I'll lock the door, and I will actually create a barrier that is impenetrable, for the most part. And so, but on a computer, there's nothing that, when you look at the circuitry, when you look at what a circuit is, so to put it in layman's term, if you lose a light switch as a circuit, when I flip the light switch up, the lights go on because I'm creating a continuum of energy. I'm creating a connection where the flow of electricity now can move forward to the flow of the light or whatever it is that you're electrifying. There's literally a physical component. But on a computer, there's nothing that comes down that says, boom, the password, no, the door is locked, you can't get in unless you put in a key. Like right now, it's pretty fascinating. Now we're living in a time where you can actually put in a physical key, or you can do an electronic key. The worlds are starting to merge and converge and blend. But there's nothing that comes down on a circuit board and goes, boom. It's just an idea. There's an idea that was coded through computer programming languaging that the computer programmer puts in that says, if they type in this particular sequence of numbers and in capitals and stars and whatever it is, then the energy will go through, the circuit will go through. But there's nothing there preventing it from happening. It's just an idea. The same thing happens on the hard drive of your own subconscious world. There's things you do and don't do, not because there's a physical barrier, just because there's an idea in your mind that keeps you from doing it. Like the trauma that sometimes comes up with a breakup. If you go through life and you start accumulating these ideas that bring forward lack and limitation, happen, distrust, reasons and excuses as to why things can't happen, those victimizing energies, then you are compiling a whole bunch of energy that is keeping you separate from your good. It starts to slowly diminish you from your good. Now, usually, for the most part, when you're born and you're moving through childhood and adolescence, you have a lot of hope, a lot of zest, a lot of zeal. All the circuitry is kind of open. Infinite potentials and possibilities. Maybe you go through elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, and you're having a fairly good time, and nobody's rained on your parade. Do not let anybody rain on your parade or plant seeds in your consciousness that you adopt that start to put blockades into avenues where you want to go. As we want to move into your destiny. Every one of us shares the same destiny. Not the same fate, but the same destiny. The destiny is to move into wholeness, into the allness, into the grandness and the greatness of who you are as an individualized expression of the divine. Our teachings, you'll hear us say all the time, you were formed and fashioned, born in the image and likeness of God. What does that mean? What does it feel like? What does it look like? It's fresh, it's alive, it's new, it's inspiring. It's not rote and stale and diminishing. It feels like when you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm going to take on the day. Not like, if you're waking up, I got to do this, I got to go to work, then that's the indication that something needs to be rejuvenated, something needs to be up-leveled, something. And there's a continuum, omni-active energy. So we know that the divine, God, whether you call it Jehovah or Allah or Yahweh or the One or the Creator or Adonai, whatever, Dios, whatever you call the One, that holy intelligence, we know that it is omniscient. It is all-wise. And you know, the one thing about God, God is always in a good mood. There's never a time when the universe isn't in a good mood. And your destiny is to be in a good mood all the time. But you're in charge of your mood. You're in charge of your emotions. You're in charge of your mind. You're in charge of your beliefs. You're in charge of your body temple. You are the good steward of this body temple, which includes your emotions and your mind and your body of affairs. And most of us are going to say things like, but my relationship with so-and-so isn't so exquisite, it's not so brilliant because they do this or they do that. I'm telling you, it's all an inside job. That continuum of energy. Right now, if you were to just clear the hard drive, all the files in your subconscious, you would return to bliss. Bliss is back of all life. When Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss, he didn't mean like go find adventures out here. He said, the bliss is in here, and it radiates out here. You cultivate your bliss. Bliss is the natural vibrational frequency of the universe. I'm inviting you to participate in a commitment. To be committed to the divine idea of your life is of the utmost importance. Some of you are probably familiar. I remember that when everything I've ever committed to has come to pass. Sometimes we commit to things and it might be a little bumpy or lumpy along the way. Sometimes you commit to them and it's a little bit more smooth. You're in charge of like, I'm going to allow this to be smooth or bumpy. There's a thing we do, so most of you might know, in our community, we have prayer chaplains. To become a prayer chaplain, you have to spend a year in taking classes on affirmative prayer, meditation, spiritual principle. If you decided you wanted to go a little further, you can go into becoming an Agape licensed spiritual practitioner, and that takes around roughly 3 to 4 years to become an Agape licensed spiritual practitioner. A whole bunch of classes you take. But when you move into the prac training, prac 1 and prac 2, you've got to commit. And they will ask you in the interview, are you committed to these 2 years of becoming an agape licensed spiritual practitioner? Are you going to put this at number 1 at the top of your priority list in order that you may achieve the goal? So we want to make sure, and basically they're looking for people who are going to commit to that. Now, it might sound a little daunting to commit to that, but most of us do it. Most people, they go to a 4-year university, they're committed to getting their bachelor's degree, maybe they're committed to getting their master's degree. People are committed, usually, oftentimes, they're committed because there's a reward at the end. The reward will be once I get my bachelor's or my master's or whatever, then I can go hang my shingle somewhere and then I'm going to make lots of money. Spiritually, the reward is way better than that. Spiritually, you're aligning with the bliss within. You're learning to live from a place unencumbered and uninhibited by fear. And so there's 3 pretty much basic elements as we move through. I call them the 3 C's. You want to connect. Connect means that you're going to connect with the vision of your life. How many of you are really familiar with God's idea of your life? Does that even sound a little bit like, what do you mean God's idea of my life? Your soul's purpose, your soul's passion, that which is seeking to emerge from you. There's an emergent idea. We call it the law of emergence. Something wants to rise up and shine through you. When your physicality, when your emotionality, when your mentality, when your situationality are all on the same page, when you take dominion over your life, first by connecting, I'm going to capture the vision. Sometimes the visions might seem too big or too grand. There's nothing too big or too grand in the divine. When you capture and you connect that vision, you're meditating and you're allowing, as we did this morning in meditation, what brings me joy? What brings me grandeur and greatness? What makes my heart sing? These questions activate something within you. Now, the trauma body, if I'm asking, what makes my heart sing? This is how you know, like, oh, this is, oh, but, blah, 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 and there's just something that wants to diminish. That's your trauma body. That's your pain body, as Eckhart Tolle would refer to it. And that's where the subconscious has traumatic influences that you don't want to listen to. What that means is I'm going to heal that, and then I'm going to grow and expand. So you connect. You want to connect with the desires of your soul. Then you're going to communicate. You're going to allow your intention to come forward based on the desire. What is my intention based on the desire of my soul? Can you articulate that? You want to allow yourself to articulate what that intention would be, and then you're going to bring it into prayer, and you're going to bring it into affirmation. You're going to affirm your intention. There are principles that govern the universe. These principles are infallible. Principles like God is omniamorous. There's a love, intelligence, and beauty back of all life that is governing all life. We might, if we look out into the world and we see what's going on in the Middle East, or maybe we see what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, or maybe we see what's going on in certain ones of our neighborhoods or the economy, we might, well, the real world is saying this. You cannot be influenced. You're not ignoring. We don't ignore. We don't do spiritual bypass where we pretend things aren't happening. We open to a grander, higher purview. So it is in that we go from connecting to communicating. And you want to be careful in the communication when you're starting to intend and you're starting to affirm and you're starting to pray on these things, to make sure that you create a fertile field in which you can do this. If we use gardening as a metaphor, when you start to plant a seed, it's going to go into the ground, and you're going to take care of it for a while. It's the same thing you do when you're having an infant. You know, when a woman gets pregnant, you're going to take. I think most women they eat healthier, they do a little bit better, they really create a more beautiful environment when you're pregnant. When you're planting seeds, farmers know that germination, to get the seed to germinate, you want to give it just the right amount of water. In the beginning, before a tree creates a canopy, and it's just exposed to bright sunlight, that bright sunlight is going to dry out the ground much faster. Once it germinates, once it grows and it gets into an established state of vitality and it creates a canopy, then it doesn't need as much water because now the soil is staying more rich with the nutrients of the water, because it's keeping the shade there. But you gotta nurture it. You gotta nourish that for a while. So it germinates and it pushes up through the soil. And so we make sure we keep the bugs away. We water it more regularly. We just give it a little bit more tender, loving care in the beginning stages, just like you would a child. You nurture them. You nourish the toddlers. You nourish and allow those things to grow. So you want to make sure that you're not bringing in any spoils. We don't want anybody where it's like, if I'm going to share these things, that somebody who's going to rain on your parade. That's kind of like an insecticide working against what it is that you'd like to bring into fruition. Now you will move into a place of divine strength where you will transcend that, but in the beginning you're going to have discernment. And that discernment is going to be, I'm going to share my ideas, my intentions with those that can hold it. That might be on the prayer line. It might be with our prayer chaplains or our agape licensed spiritual practitioners. It might be with your best friend. It might be with whoever can hold that for you. And by holding something, it's a prayerful state of an unbroken awareness of the fulfillment. I'm on board with you. We're having a celestial handshake that says yes to your good. You're going to want to cultivate that. If you've had an experience where people have poo-pooed your stuff before, or they pooped on your parade, you're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to transmute the idea that happens. You want to let go of that idea. Don't let that fester. Don't let it just sit there. Clear it out, and you're going to start to do the prayer within the prayer, the intention within the intention. I'm surrounded by people who nurture and nourish the divine idea of my life. That's actually a natural phenomena. Life is inherently cooperative. It is not divisive. It is not survival of the fittest. It is survival of all of us. As we move into that place, we start to say, and then the commitment. The commitment comes in. In the space-time continuum, things take time. I hate to break it to you, but things are going to take time. But time expands and contracts. And if you can open up and say, I'm going to start to play with my prey. I'm going to start to have fun with all of this. You gotta ignite something within you that opens to an expansion. So you commit to it. And that means you're going to anchor things. You're going to anchor the things in your life that bring forward and nourish both the connection and the conversation. So I'm going to make sure, if I was going to the gym, I might know, left to my own devices, this was me, I used to be like, if I don't book an appointment with a trainer, I'm not going. I'm going to sit home and find a reason to organize a drawer or eat bonbons or get caught up on that series, whatever it may be. But if I make an appointment with somebody that's holding the space for my growth physically, then I'm going to stick to it. That is why we have a spiritual community where people can lean in and hold that space for you. This is what we do. We hold into that. So I'm going to invite you, like today after service, come up and have one of our practitioners or our prayer chaplains have a prayer with you after service. Even if you don't even know that there's something that you'd like prayer for, just say, do a prayer for me. Or if you have a prayer request, say, pray for this for me. Whatever it may be, you'll be very impressed by what comes out of their mouths, especially if you just say, surprise me. So you want to commit. You want to commit to, and you anchor and create a support team. You want to support the divine idea of your life. Major support is going to come from you. You've got to make that commitment. And so there have been people who have applied for these programs, and all of a sudden it's like, you're not quite committed enough to this, which means you're just not ready. And when you're ready, we'll be ready. But we're asking that it be an energetic equivalent match. If this is what we need from you for this to come to fruition, we need you to rise to be an energetic match, and that requires a commitment. So to commit to your own soulful growth, to your own inevitable destiny, that's your job. You have to make that choice. You want to make sure that you move from escapism into immersionism, to immerse yourself. Immerse yourself in that which supports the divine idea of your life, and also begin to allow the energy of transmutation to heal things. When an excuse comes up, discernment says, oh, I'm an observer. Oh, here comes an excuse. What am I going to do with this excuse? I'm going to transmute it and transform it. It takes a minute to get used to it because you've probably spent a year, 2 years, a decade, a lifetime convincing yourself of excuses as to why things can't happen. Now you're going to unlearn and unexcuse things. That is your job. You're going to want to make sure that you make the witness consciousness that we refer to, or we might call it observer consciousness, where discernment comes in. You want to make that your best friend. You want to allow yourself to say, like, I am going to allow myself to move into a deeper awareness of observing my own self. Now, sometimes you're going to need to lean into somebody else. You're going to have to lean into a practitioner. You're going to have to lean into somebody that can hold something for you when you can't hold it yourself. That's where we come into the equation. That's where we say, okay, that's where you start to cultivate and create an area of support where you're finding sincerity in support. Sincerity is also another key ingredient to all this. You want to be sincere. You want to make sure that you find the willingness. And of course, where does all of this come from? When you move into meditation, when you move into prayer, when you are into a place of sincere willingness, you're connecting with your own self, your higher self, and you call forward, you invite, you evoke, and you allow something to come into you, which is really not the exact way it happens. You're actually allowing something to rise up from within you. You have to let that holy life force rise up from within you, where benevolent satiation starts to merge with the divine idea of your life. When you plant the seeds, you're going to have to make sure you give it a little extra care in the beginning and create that nurturing environment. You want to know that there's a study that has been done over and over again. The number one reason that marriages fail is because there is a loss of commitment. There's a loss of commitment to the divine idea that they share together, and a loss of commitment oftentimes in their own individual experience. So if oftentimes when a couple, if one of them is going through a really hard time, lost a job, lost this, lost that, they're feeling really down and they feel no inner commitment, that starts to diminish the collective field that they share. And oftentimes those things left unchecked, if I start to withdraw from our united shared destiny, and I start to withdraw from my own destiny, that's why they have. That's the number one reason. The number one reason that people succeed in things is because they establish a foundational driver within them. All it takes is saying, like, if I'm a couple, whether it's best friends, whether it's siblings, whether it's your parents, whether it's your children, or whether it's your spouse, or your lover, whoever it is, you're going to go ahead and it's like, we want to go in the same trajectory. Are we headed in the same trajectory? Everything doesn't have to match perfectly, but you want to make sure you're moving in the same direction, and then you want to make sure individually that I am keeping myself primed and pumped with that which brings forward success. You want to make sure that you spend at least the same amount of time that you are, if you ever complain, then you're going to have to transmute that energy, and you're going to have to bring it into praise. Praise is one of those. What is praising? Oh, I know that it's got some religious context where it's like, oh, praise God, praise whatever. It's like, no, praising is focusing on what's right and what's good and what's working. It is focusing on, because the universe is always in a good mood. It's always wanted to bring you good. So you're going to spread out and not spread thin. What ends up happening is, if I allow my trauma body to have its way, I spread myself thin. I'm going to start throwing spaghetti at the wall all the time. Let me try this. Oh, I read the 4 steps to success is this, and I'm going to try that. Oh, I read that you have to do this in order to accomplish that. And I just start throwing spaghetti at the wall. But as long as I'm throwing that spaghetti, and I'm not allowing myself to transmute, transform, and expand, and have a resolve and commitment to what it is that I'd like to experience, then you're going to experience drain. You're going to spread yourself thin, and then you doubt and worry and fatigue head in. And it's kind of like a computer. If you don't clear out the viruses, they start running slow, and they start to crap out and poop out on you. And that's what happens sometimes. I don't know if you've ever met somebody, pardon those expressions, as you move forward in life, if you start accumulating the things that bring about cynicism and pessimism, then you're going to start to be like what we've seen sometimes in people as they get older in life. I haven't cleaned out my hard drive. And so now it's like that curmudgeon that's like, look at those people over there. Not us, not here, not now. We're staying vibrant. We're staying in a place of optimism. We're staying in a place where we prime our pump. And you are not dependent. As someone who came from a dysfunctional family, and for the longest time it was like, oh, my mom this and my dad that. And really, I haven't found yet, and I've been working with couples and families and peoples and individuals for 25 years now, haven't found the person that like lived the pristine childhood where everything their parents did was grand and glorious and they just came out shining, and it was all because of perfect parents that I'm shining. Everybody, it's up to you. If you have great parents, which actually you're going to find out you do, even if you didn't have great parents, you had great parents. We all know that they do the best they can, but I'll tell you, when you dig in and you allow grace and transmutation, all of a sudden, love is going to start oozing out of you everywhere, and you're going to have compassion like you've never experienced before. Oh my God, when you have that level, that depth of compassion, oh, it is so delicious because nothing interrupts your flow. I'm going to invite you to move into a place where you don't let things interrupt your flow, that you're going to find the sincerity, you're going to find the support, you're going to commit to your commitments. So the charge this week, we've been doing this lately, choose an intention that you would deeply like to experience. What would I like to experience? Like this morning we did, what makes my heart sing? Choose it, and then align an intention that goes with that desire. Then you're going to create an affirmation that supplements, that encourages, that amplifies the intention. And then you're going to commit to doing something every day for 2 weeks. That might say, oh my God, 2 weeks. I put a 2 week on there. Really, you want to do it. Success is the fruition of the divine idea fulfilled. So truly, you want to commit to something and allow it to successfully come into fruition. That's what we really want. But because we're going to have fun, and we don't want this to feel heavy, and as one of my early mentors said, you want to take your spiritual practice very seriously and don't take it too seriously. You want that sweet Goldilocks just right spot in the middle where it's like, oh, okay, it's just right. I'm not going to make it too heavy and too serious, but I'm also not going to rest on my laurels and eat bonbons. I'm going to allow myself to go deeper into something grander and greater. So you're going to commit, and you're going to allow minimally 2 weeks of putting energy into. You gotta, if you're doing something new, it's going to be different. You have to create a new groove. You're creating a new groove in your life, and you have to create resonance with that new groove. And so you're going to give yourself 2 weeks to commit to that or more. And then you can reassess and say, is there anything I need to do to reassess in order to nurture and support this new commitment? So if I don't like doing what it is it takes to grow, I'm going to offer a suggestion. Choose to like it. Choose to find a way for it to be fun. There's a fun way to do everything spiritual. Sometimes that fun is very just like, it's soft. Oh my God, this is fun. And sometimes it's like, and it's super fun. So whichever one, there's a spectrum of fun in between, and I'm going to invite you to find the fun in the fundamental aspect of your spiritual practice. Fundamentally, you've got to lay down the spiritual law. If you're going to lay down the spiritual law, go to the top. The law of creation is the spiritual law that you're going to lay down, which means I'm going to participate in the 3 C's, connecting to the divine desire, the divine idea of my life, communicating it through intention and affirmation, and then committing to it. That's what we're going to say yes to. Yes?
Yes.
And all of this, you can come back and watch this in the archives on our YouTube or on our Soul Center website. You can write it down in the notes. Oh, I think we don't have programs today.
Yeah,
or do we? Oh, we got some programs. We had a little snafu in the program department. And so we're just going to commit to that. And you're going to commit to something. Now, here's what stymies people. Oh, but if I commit to this, I'm going to have to give up that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say there are certain things you're going to have to uncommit to. And then there's certain things that you're going to have to go ahead and say, I'm committing to this, but that does not mean I have to forego this. There's a way through transmutation and expansion that this can still happen while I'm achieving this. It becomes very quantum field. It becomes very metaphysically magnificent. You can do it. You got to find your way through this. So we're all going to do that. Yes?
Yes.
All right. You're going to make the witness consciousness of your perception your best friend. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to practice the 3 C's this week, and you're going to pick something. I mean, come on. Okay. There's this divine idea of my life. It brings me bliss. It makes me filled with joy. It ripples out into all my relationships as harmonious, cooperation, synergistic, intimate, and pure goodness, where we have reverence and respect that we share for each other. It ripples out and it uplevels and uplifts, and it brings forward the thing that makes me go, ah. I mean, am I trying to sell you something that's not good? This is the way it works. But you have to give up temporal phenomena and return to your inside internal light and follow those laws. That's what we're going to say yes to. And with that, I'm going to invite you to join me as we tune and turn within. Oh, how good it is to just take this moment. Each and every one of us saying yes to the freshness, yes to the newness, yes to the magnificence, yes to the glory. We open our hearts, our bodies, our emotions, our minds, and we say, yes, I shall connect to the divine idea of my life. I shall communicate with it, both hearing and expressing the affirmative idea. I will commit to this divine idea, knowing I am committing to that which brings me joy. I am committing to that which brings forward magnificence in my life. I am committing to a connection and a cohesion in oneness with my soul, with the divine. We recognize the one power, the one presence that we call God, the universe. We call it the holy presence, eternal magnificence. We open to that and know that each of us formed and fashioned in its image and likeness. And we allow ourselves to feel an intimate, personal experience of that expression. I am as thou art as I am, which simply means all that God is in macrocosm. I am the I am of my divine nature in microcosm. And that microcosmic magnificence is seeking to rise and shine. The divine idea of my life, I give rise to it today. I allow it to radiate today. And I allow myself to connect, to converse, and to commit to this. We open to that holy remembering, the great and grand idea. And wherever transmutation is necessary, we allow that to alchemize the hard drive of our mind, the subconscious, so that we may be free and liberated into spontaneous goodness, absolute magnificence. And it is from a place of a deep thanksgiving that we all agree to allow it to be good, nurtured, supported, grand, and glorious by saying, and so I let it be. I commit to it. I consent to it, and so it is. Amen. 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 Ashe. Aho. Mahalo. Shalom. Hotep. And hallelujah. All right, Soul Center. We're going to have the ushers come forward. Where are beautiful ushers? Oh, there they are. Here they come. This is our time of participating in the law of circulation, which, if you're not familiar, What you put in circulates and returns to you multiplied, minimally tenfold. We're not giving from a place of something that is finite. We're giving from a place that is something that is infinite. These are all the different ways that you can contribute to our community. We are a 501c3 religious nonprofit, so all of this is tax deductible, and we truly appreciate all of our love streamers that can be contributing from around the globe. We appreciate all of you here. And if you have cash or checks, or perhaps you have a butterfly, that you see somebody put one of these in the basket, that just means they're part of our auto tithe program, where they give on a regular basis through an automatic process. We appreciate that. I'm going to invite our love offering angels to go forward, and I'm going to invite the beloved whatever Mike back on stage.
This song is originally by Simon and Garfunkel, but we're going to do a version made famous by Aretha Franklin. Yeah! One of my favorite songs. And if you know it, help us out. We're going to stay right here, band. Stay right there. Trouble the water, leave it alone. Why don't you let it be? Still water runs deep, yes it does. Oh yeah, here we go. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all, it's all around, just like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down just like a bridge over troubled water. I'm gonna lay me down, yeah. I will lay me down, stay right here, see, stay there, say. Don't trouble the water, leave it alone. Why don't you let it be? Yeah, still water runs deep, yes it does. Oh yeah, here we go. Sail on, silver girl. Sail on by. Your time has come to shine. Oh, your dreams are on their way. See how, you gotta see how they shine. And if you ever need a friend, just look around. I'll be sailing right behind, just like a bridge over troubled water. I will edge of troubled water. I'm gonna lay me down. I will lay me down. I will put myself down. I will lay down the things that I no longer need. Hey, 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 hey. Good God now. Hey, 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 hey. So don't trouble the water. Just leave it alone. Why don't you let it be done, baby, yeah. Still water, the water runs deep. Yes, it does. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't trouble it, yeah. Ooh, we can be the bridge over troubled water.
That was gorgeous. Thank you. Woo. That brought down the house. All right. I'm just going to invite you to join me as we bless the offering. You're welcome to join by extending your prayer, your heart through your hands. I'll take care of the rest. I am so grateful to know that something magnificent is only and always taking place in the mind, the life of God. And God is life. Life, all giving, all loving, all knowing, all powerful. And it only blesses, professes, and expresses as abundance. Abundant good. And all of this abundant good is seeking to lavish each and every one of us as we remember the truth. I am a divine emanation, formed and fashioned from the holy light of infinite brilliance. And I am here to bless, and I bless this offering. We bless this offering, knowing that it simply flourishes and nourishes. It circulates and expands, and each and every one of us, individually and collectively, thrive from this continuum of ever-expanding good. We call it prosperity. We call it benevolent abundance. We call it good. We bless it as good, and we allow it to be good, and so it is. Thank you, ushers. And we're going to invite the children's community to come in. Don't forget, after service, if you would like to come up to the gong right here at the front of the room for private individual prayer, you can meet with one of our prayer chaplains or Agape licensed spiritual practitioners.
Hello everyone. Today we have the chance to work with the kids on listening to our hearts, and I have 4 volunteers that are going to be sharing what they love. So Pyra, do you want to go first?
I love my family. I have my mom and dad. I love my sister and my brother.
Thank you. And now I have Sadie.
My favorite part of today's lesson was meditation.
I said 4 volunteers, I meant 3. Thank you so much.
All right. We're going to do our closing song. And if you'd like to sing along, the words are up on the screen.
That was meant to be with God as our God.
divine, we call it sublime, we call it eternal, we call it indwelling as our own divine radiance. We open to its magnificence knowing something delicious, something magnificent is compelling and propelling us, and we have said, yes, I am committed to more good in my life, healing and revealing as truth, the truth that sets us free. We are allowing that to rise and shine deeper and greater than ever before in acceptance by saying, and so it is. Amen. And love streamers, we'll see you on the daily affirmative prayer call tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Pacific.